I want you to bend right over. Feel the pressure. This fuel injector, you know the drive you. Burn, because I am yours and you are mine. And we are teasing no wine. You and me having a time. You're jamming you from behind. Whoa. What do you say, man? Hey, come the bumper, feel the pressure. Come the bumper. Whoa, whoa. Hey, come the bumper, feel the pressure. They're singing right away. I'm singing what I'm singing. Never the sing. Right, we coming down. We coming down. With you, they junkies. Right, we coming down. It's you, they right, we coming down. With you, they junkies. Take a dip in a mud and lay yourself. Come on, what you do? Take a dip in a mud and lay yourself. Yeah. Take a dip in the mud. Take a dip in the mud. Take a dip in the mud and lay yourself. Why?
All right, folks, so for my first interview of 2026, one of the first ones I've had, I haven't done like an interview in a long while, but it is a privilege for me here to do it with none other than the man, the legend himself, Mr. Anslem Douglas.
Okay, so thanks for having me on your program. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I am, as you mentioned, Anslem Douglas, singer, songwriter, recording artist, performing artist, and quite recently turned author. And I've been doing this for a number of years now, a lot of years, too much to mention, to be honest. Yeah. A number of years. And, I've had the opportunity to perform with some of the bigger bands out of Trinidad. We're looking at bands like Atlantic, Horizon, Song Revolution for 1 year. Even quite recently, I did something with Pelham Roots that used to be Charlie's Roots, so yeah.
All right. Well, for me, just talking quickly, my introduction to you came in the form of Raga Pum Pum, which I heard when I was like about 9 or 10. I think I was like 9 or 10, right? Yeah, and at the time, because dancehall was massive, like in the mid 90s, right? It was amazing that I was hearing dancehall terms like raga and pum pum, right, in a soca song, and this is before. Well, I think Raga Soca was big around that time, or was now starting to grow. But this was like before Bunji Garlin even came into the scene with his dancehall infused style, right, and whatnot. But yeah, that song was a big deal. There was the stick fighting song, and as you're here, you could answer the question: is the title of the song "When I Dead Bury My Clothes," or is there like another title involved?
Well, truth be told, the song has 3 names: "When I Dead Bury My Clothes," Stick Fight, and Boa.
Okay.
The official name was Boa. Yeah, the official name was Boa, but people started asking about the Stick Fight song, and then they start calling the song by the hook in it, "When I Dead Bury My Clothes." So then I put 3 names.
Okay. Imagine like people calling radio stations like, "Hey, just play the Stick Fighting song for me, please." Exactly. Yeah. And of course, we know about the Who Let the Dogs Out song. But if you want to learn more details, go on Google, go on Wikipedia. There's probably like a video essay on YouTube about it, right? But we're more focusing on just stuff that, well, in this case here, with this video here, we're going to focus on 2 new releases that you have here, right? That would be Juve Junkies and Payback, right? So to start off with Juve Junkies, right? Well, this and Payback, right? What I admire about both, right, is that there's like this sticky hook, you know what I mean? And how there's like a story, there's like a little narrative that goes on with both songs, right? So if I could just start with Juve Junkies, right? But it also bleeds into Payback, right? Is it that you hear the beat and you just come up with everything, or you just have like a vibe or a hook or a lyric in your head or a theme in your head, and you just like, oh, this is the beat I'm looking for. All right, I'm gonna write to that. Like, what is the writing / creative process when it comes to your work, and in particular with these 2 songs here?
With me, the process it varies, because sometimes you get a lyric that brings a melody with it, and then you get a melody and you fill lyrics to it. The beat usually comes kind of based on how the melody goes and what you're looking for. But for the most part, the lyric would come, you get a line or a sentence somewhere and you say, whoa, and that comes with a melody to it and vice versa. Usually my process.
All right. Like like in your case, like similar to Boa, right? That's the name I'm gonna call, right? That song, right? Like that song, you have like a couple of like narratives going on, right? So in the case of Juve Junkies, right, it's just that it's Juve morning, you're there with your friends, you're there with your crew, and they go on somewhere, like, yeah, where they going, right? And then you run into two girls and it's like, hey, line with us, right? And then it's just the vibe that goes on from there, right? So I like that is simple, relatable stories, right? So if you've been in the midst of it, if you've gone to Juve, you kind of know what it is, right? And then of course, you have that hook, that bang, dang, 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 something very, very, very catchy, right? So yeah, it's just how relatable the team, the teams are when it comes to that song, right? So is it that you just wanted the song to be just relatable enough that they could just vibe with it, or you just wanted to tell something that was that you could relate to?
Well, I think you wanted, because Juve is primarily a carnival thing. It's like the introduction, the prelude to the whole Monday and Tuesday. It starts with Juve, and I think what I was trying to do is capture that energy, that vibe that Juve brings: the mud, the paint, the oil, the rhythms, the rhythm section, the doo-doo, the drinking, just capture that whole mood and put it in song. And I think we kind of did that for this one.
Right. And is it that you're just drawing from experience, or well, I mean, yeah, I mean, clearly experience, right?
A little bit of both.
Song, like, how do you do
a little bit of both. A little bit of both, from experience and from taking yourself out of yourself and putting yourself in demand.
Oh, okay.
You jump out of yourself kind of way, and you become part of a situation. In your mind, in your spirit, you're there, which makes the writing easier because now you're actually experiencing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like almost firsthand. So it kind of gives your pen liberty to start to write now because you're there.
Yeah. No. Is it that you always use this outer body approach when it comes to your songwriting, or it just when it comes to specific themes, like the Juve?
Most times, even when I'm writing, because I don't know if I do smooth jazz also. Even when I'm doing smooth jazz or whatever I'm writing, writing children's books, you have to become a child, and see it through the lens of a child or a younger person, become that. They say sometimes when you're talking to a child, go down on your knees so you become their level. You see it the way they see it. You ever wonder why it is you'd be looking for something all through the house and a child will come and say, Daddy, because they're down here, they see things that you don't see.
Right.
From eye level, they see things down here that you don't see. You see things up here that they can't see, but they see things up here that you won't see.
Right.
So it's kind of like the same approach with your music. You go into the environment in your mind, in your spirit, and write from there. So you are there. You're in the fete, you write about the fete because you're there. You're in the Juve, you write about the Juve because you're there.
Right. Yeah. And before we move on to Payback now, so, going back to what it is about being there, right? So I love that, you're not just telling a story, but you're giving like a sound to what is going on, right? So that's where you have the hook, that that. Yeah. So like when you hear it, it's like, yeah, like I'm here, I'm hearing that iron going or whatever it is, right? I'm hearing it right now, and it's through that hook, and it's just so incredibly catchy, right? So before we move on to Payback, how do you come up with that hook? As simple as it is and as catchy as it is, right? How did you come up with the idea for that hook?
That is for the most part, when you go back to where Juve started with biscuit pan and bamboo and beating something, it was just some to chip, brang, 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 it's just some to chip, bragadang, brang, bragadang, badang, badang, bragadang, it's just something to chip with.
Yeah.
So I just, That's it. That's it right there. As I say, enough said. That's it right there.
No, but it's really, really, really catchy. Very, very sticky, right? Same thing I have to say about Payback, right? That, whoa, like when you hear that, like, yeah, you know what I mean? And as far as like the narrative, I like that, again, simple, but very relatable, right? It's this guy, he working, he 9 to 5, he does his work, he does it for his wife or his significant other, right? And the out and effect, they just want to enjoy themselves, right? So I like the fact that, listen, I working, I grinding, I just want to enjoy myself, I just want to let myself go, I want you to let yourself go. So listen, we pay me money, let me just enjoy ourselves. We don't care about who are around us. It's just us.
About time.
Yeah, that's what.
And the thing about the song is it's so relatable because it's a regular blue collar couple. They work hard for their money, get up every day. As you said, do the grind, and he just want to enjoy himself with his significant other, and he's just trying to explain to her, listen, I'm your man. You can't be slack with me. You can do anything you want. You're not doing this with no strange man. Yeah, I'm your man. Take a wine, bend over, give me a wine, and as a good friend of mine said, she said, this reminds us so much of Black Man Feeling the Party 2.0.
Yes, I was thinking of that too, which, I mean, to me is one of the greatest soca songs ever made. Point blank period, right? But yes, so relatable. It's like, listen,
it's relatable.
Out here, let me go.
It's relatable. So many times a man and his wife or a man and his girlfriend, they go out and nobody knows how much, you see them in the party enjoying themselves, hugging up each other, having a good time. But you don't know that they have to budget for that fete,
That's true.
Because everybody don't. No, the truth is everybody don't have it like that. They say, well, we could just jump out tonight and we go and do a thing. No, sometimes you have a budget because to go out, you want to look good. Your wife, your girlfriend want to do little nails and hair. That's what women do. And, she been supportive. You want to make sure she come out looking top up. And you don't want to look too shabby neither. So it costs for outfit, it costs for tickets, transportation, you got to put gas in your car, you might have 2 children home, you got to get a babysitter. It was a whole process. So when you reach in that situation now, we have a time. We have a time, me and you, we ain't bothering nobody. Having a time. And I think that is what I try to capture in the song, Payback.
Yeah. And what I could say about both songs, right, is how relatable they are to just the general public who engages in Carnival, right? Whether you're young or you're old or whatnot, right? You can relate to both situations. You can relate to that juvie scenario. You can relate to, hey, I hear with my significant other, we just want to have fun. That's it, right? It's very, very relatable, right? But when it comes to like that hook itself, that whoa, yeah, how do you come up with that?
Well, that hook, it wasn't stolen, but you listen to European football.
Oh, right. Yes. Right. I know you're talking about.
They sing, the whole stadium sings. It mightn't be that same melody, but they might sing, whoa, whoa, whatever they're singing. You can't make out what they're singing, but I just thought, collectively it sounds so powerful.
It does.
And I just came up with
that, it does.
Whoa, whoa,
yeah.
And then just attach rock the bumper, feel the pressure, and you go back to that sing-along thing because it's contagious,
Yeah, it is. So let's talk a bit just quickly about the reception of these two songs, right? Since it dropped, right? I took in that young brother Optimus Productions show that he had just the other day, where you appeared and you performed those two songs, and I don't know, like for me the highlight was just young brother and you just saying whoa, like it's something about that though. So like in my head I thought
right.
a remix could happen, a remix could happen. I mean, if young brother could hook up with Showing and Baron and do Rocket Soul, right? Basically a remake of Baron's song. I mean, like, yeah.
Hey, that's what? Nothing is off the table, man, because it's music. It's soca music. It's about collabs. It's about, and I always say I could stay and sing in my bathroom. I could do that. I could sing in my kitchen at home, but that wouldn't bring the gratification of performing to an audience that is loving what you're doing. You do this to bring happiness and joy to other people. And that brings me joy when I could see my work being accepted and appreciated by a whole audience, singing your song or hand in the air and they're swaying and they're having a good time. So it's about, I always say, egos checked by the door. It's about collaboration. It's about doing whatever it takes to get the music out there so that John Public could, as they say, have a time with the music,
Yeah. So that's back to reception a little bit, right? So like how have I'm just asking in terms of like just radio airplay, you know what I mean? Like and buzz, since the songs were
Listen,
released, right?
it's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. I mean, radio DJs from everywhere, from England.
Wow.
From Canada, the US, to the Caribbean, been inboxing me and saying, yo, send them 2 songs somewhere. And the thing is, they're only asking for one. They said, send them 2 songs somewhere. This is my email address. Send them 2 songs. So both songs been going out. Of course, the Juve Junkies run to front, that going. But they're asking for the 2 songs, asking for payback. They love it. They love the groove in it. They love the whole, it's not about infidelity, about you meet a girl and you take her wine and you didn't know she name. This is about a couple coming out. So it brings a certain degree of romance in the soca.
Yeah. Even that hook has something. It's something sort of romantic too. You know what I mean? It's almost like singing this melody to your true love. Singing like that now. Yeah.
I think if I should say so myself, I think the payback is what you call when you're drinking and say, boy, that is a creeper, I was good is when I stand up, that thing hit me, boy. When you're drinking, I want to call it, there's a creeper. You sit down and you're drinking and you're okay, but when you stand up, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I think if we were to compare both songs to drinks, I think let's try and do that. I would say Juve Junkies is like a shot of punching. It hits you one time, bam.
Yeah.
You get it's like, wait, and payback could be compared to Baileys. You sit down and you're drinking your Baileys and it's nice, and you had 3 glasses. Is when you get up, you say, whoa. Whoa.
I like that analogy. I like that. I like that.
One is like a punching and one is like Baileys. So, hey, good job, it.
Right. So, as far as, with the success of these 2 songs here, right? So, after Trinidad Carnival, right? Of course, you're going to take it all over, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, my phone already started ringing. My team, their phone ringing too. So when the car get me to call the team, and for functions in New York, Boston, Toronto is ringing. Miami is ringing. So looks like we're going to have a real bumper season.
Nice.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. I didn't ask this earlier, right? But was there like a singular producer that was involved with both songs, or is it like 2 producers for these songs?
2 producers. The first one, Juve Junkies, was produced by a gentleman called Carol Hodge out in New York.
Okay.
I work with him a lot. I mean, a really cool, humble guy. You sit down in the studio and we build something. It's like, yeah, we go this way, let's go that way. And he's just open to seeing where the music could go. And then the other one was with veteran producer, this is playback, Carl Beaver Henderson.
wow.
veteran producer.
OG himself. Nice.
Yes, the man himself. So Carl worked on this one so you could hear, you could hear things like rock guitar inside of there because what I like about Beaver, he's always ready to experiment with the music and push the envelope, as it were, and see, don't just stay in with this cookie cutter thing.
Yeah.
And I like that about Beaver. So those are the two producers who worked on it.
Yeah, there's more emphasis on the instruments and the melodies as opposed to just slapping pieces of instruments.
Exactly.
In a program, right? Yeah.
Right. It's how everything fits and sit down.
That's right.
Together so that you get a well-produced product. When you hear it, you must say, yeah, well-produced. From where the vocals sit in, the background vocals, everything must be, because this is your presentation, not only for Carnival. Yeah, you're doing something for your national festival, but this is something you want to present to the world, as the music coming out of your island. So you want to do it to the best of your ability.
Right. So as we wrap up here now, I don't want to call this era of your career like a resurgence. Maybe it is, but I just want to assume, before we part ways, that you've just stuck with your musical career. I should say your musical path, right? For decades now, right? So the obvious question is, what does the future hold for you? What other projects or song? Well, collabs or whatever. Like what's next in store for you?
Well, firstly, I have to clarify something. People think, because you're back on the party scene, that you were absent. I was absent from the party scene, but I've been doing concerts, like big concerts in Toronto. Myself, people like Eddie Boleyn. I've been doing concerts in New York where I'm talking about people are seated and they come to be entertained in a different level where I can do soul jazz and soca music and calypso music and R&B and all that stuff. So I've been performing just in a whole different environment. This music here now is pushing me back into the FET situation. But I've never stopped performing, never stopped writing. So now I'm basically dancing in both parties, dancing in the FET and dancing and I'm using the word dancing metaphorically, and literally too. Dancing in the FETs and dancing in the concerts also, because I believe in doing my concerts. Every year I do a concert in Trinidad for the last 4 years, and people come out, it's up close and personal. And it's just amazing to be on stage with your band and entertaining people, where you could have a one-on-one conversation with your audience. So that's what I've been doing. And now we're looking forward to bigger and better things with my books, because I write children's books, and my books are now being turned into a television animation series.
Wow. Okay.
So there's
Canadian based, right? Or US?
It's a Canadian based company, but doing Caribbean content.
Nice. Okay, I want to learn about that, but next question. But you go on.
Yes. So that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm working on. So I'm working on my children's books, my soca career, my concert career, and my animation. Now I'm jumping into film, which is a whole new thing for me, and it's exciting to be learning all the new terminology. And it's just it's all entertainment, but it's so different from music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning and enjoying it. And I have a good team around me. So, hey, sky's the limit, man.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's great. Sky is the limit. So, with that being said, where can people find you, if, they want to organize, like bookings or whatever, or if they just want to hear your new music or old music, and in particular, just going back to that that studio that doing the animation Caribbean content. I am really, really curious about that. Yeah, you know, you can give them a little shout out here, right? So yes, the floor is yours.
You know, I've been sharing that whole studio thing, that whole animation thing in snippets because you're not ready to let the whole cat out of the bag yet. You know,
yeah.
But I've been sharing it in snippets on little interviews and stuff. But for contacts, you can always find me at anslemmusic.com. And when you get on there, you will get to all my social media pages. And from there, you will get in contact with my team and all that stuff. Really easy.
All right.
anslemmusic.com.
Anslem Music.
And once you go on there, you will see, you know, you could direct inbox me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's all there.
Yeah.
You know? Easiest guy to find. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. It was literally an honor and privilege to, you know, just chat with you. Again, this is the first time I'm talking to like a soca star, like a veteran, right? So this is a big deal for me, right? And you know, I love that, you know, they are sons of the soil, you know, that are doing big things, not just in our home country, but you know, outside, right? You know, just spreading that creativity to the world, man. You know what I mean? That stuff really does inspire me, right? You know? And yeah, you know, I just wish nothing but the best for you going forward. I know that these two songs I was about to say chat, but you know, I know that these two songs that's gonna be big hits. They're gonna be smashes. I could see that, right? Especially Juve Junkies way. Yeah, I have a feeling Carnival Monday morning. Yeah, that song is going to be on instant replay, you know? Yeah.
Listen, I want to thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
On your podcast. I appreciate it. And looking forward to chatting with you again shortly.
Yes.
Maybe after Carnival sometime.
Yeah.
Come back and we do a recap, you know? Yeah.
Oh, I would love that. And, you know, if you have any new songs coming up, maybe not this year, but, you know, next year, hopefully, you know? Yeah, you know, I would love to, you know, just chop it up with you and, you know, just hear how you came up with those songs and especially like the reception to these things, right? Because, yeah, I just love the fact that you are putting out, you know, your first set of party music that you've done in years. And...
yeah.
You know, John. You know, well, the people, right? John, public, if you will.
Public, yeah.
They are loving it right now, man. You know what I mean? So, and I mean that's just a testament to, your creativity, your craft, just everything that you've been doing, you know, for years, man. So, sky's the limit, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks a million.
All right, yeah.
So
God bless, man. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Take care, and it's a wrap.